चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामयं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गिरिधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपयामहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा। हरि बोल Paramatma Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Good to see you. I drove by your place, but you were busy. So last week, 2 days ago, we discussed about come on, get up here. All of you guys. Last week we discussed about how Krishna spoke this knowledge to Brahma and it got disseminated throughout the universe by the help of the acharyas. And somehow we're very fortunate we have this great opportunity to be part of this Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. It's a great legacy, it's a great inheritance. And one time, Giriraj Swami asked Srila Prabhupada how this movement will spread. And Prabhupada told him that this movement will spread by intelligence and good organization. Now, what does intelligence mean? It means good intelligence. Where does it come from? It comes from good experience. And good experience comes from bad experience. So, after every event, we should have an assessment. It's like today we went on Harinam. Down near, what's it called?
Starbrook Market.
Starbrook Market, where the boats leave and a lot of vendors are. And it was fun. It was like hunting in a zoo. So, people everywhere, holy name flying everywhere, books flying everywhere, people taking prasadam, calling out for the devotees. There's 12 of us. It was amazing. People are very open, they're very friendly, they're very favorably disposed towards the Hare Krishna movement. Why? Because decades of preaching. The soil is very fertile. Can you see? When they do road construction, the earth is red. Red earth means fertile soil, very, very rich. So people from all backgrounds, from all cultures, from all traditions, they are open to receive the message of Lord Chaitanya. Now the question is, where are we? Are we open to share it with one and all? Or are we a little hesitant? So intelligence and good organization. We need a vision, we need a game plan. One of my friends, his name is Narayan Pandit. He's from Croatia. He was in Shanghai, China. Biggest train station of the world. Millions of people going through that place every day. And everywhere, cameras, CCTV, microphones, secret police, military, security guards. China is coming his country, illegal to spread information about God. He was arrested multiple times, and the police always question him, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "I have Chinese wife, I have children, I have to work, I have to make money." They said, "Where you got the books from?" He said, "I bought them on market. And now I'm selling. I have to make money. I have family." They said, "Okay, get lost, but don't come back here." So, one man asked him, what are you trying to do? While he was distributing books. And he said, China formerly had quite some culture. There was a lot of spiritual culture also. And he said, now everyone's just running after money. Everybody's just going crazy. The man asked him, so what's your vision? What's your plan? How do you want to reconnect them to their ancient culture? He said, I want to have one of Prabhupada's sets of his books in every university of the country. The man said, how are you going to do that? He said, well, I'm starting here. I'm starting here to make contacts and to give people books, but that's actually my goal. I want to put these books in every library of every university. The man looked at the books, he went through the book, and for quite some time he was examining the book. And he said, okay, I will help you. And he gave him a bag. And in that bag were 50,000 US dollars, which is how much? In
10 million Guyana.
10 million Guyana. Boom. One bag, 10 million Guyana. And he said, okay, I sponsor 100 sets because one set in China is 500 US dollars. So then Narayan Pandit, he went and he placed 100 sets in universities. He took pictures from the librarians with the books. He got favorable reviews. He collected all the receipts of shipping the sets, and he presented those to that man. And the man was so impressed by his accountability, by his transparency, that he said, okay, I will sponsor another 100 sets for Hong Kong, another 100 sets for Taiwan, another 100 sets for this province, for that province. He sponsored 800 sets, $400,000. That's, 400,000 US. That's 80 million Guyanese dollars. Not bad, huh? Before breakfast. Why? He had vision, he had a plan, he was accountable, he was transparent, and he wasn't lazy. Now here we live in paradise. There's coconuts, there's sugarcane, there's all the fruits and vegetables and everything you want. So we may become a little comfortable. You can go out and distribute a few hundred books if you just stand out there and say Hari Bol. You just go out there and say Hari Bol, and everybody turns and says Hari Bol. Any fudge? Huh? Any fudge? And people are just standing there in their booths with their money in their hand, and they're waiting for the devotees to come by and receive the donation. Yesterday we were, what's the place? Barbies, yeah. And we went out and we did Harinam Sankirtan. And everyone just waiting for the devotees to come. Because people are leading boring lives. You notice? It's boring life. Just getting up, working, traffic, mundane news. It's boring. So how do you distribute a book? Very simple. You give people, first you make eye contact, okay? This is what works here in the Caribbean. You make eye contact, like I'm making eye contact with you. You look at the person and you smile. Can you do that? Huh? And then people are like, hey, okay, this is a nice person. And then you give him a fudge, then you give him a magazine or a small book, and then you say, any donation for the temple is appreciated. Can you say that? Any donation for the temple is appreciated. And I guarantee you, 86% will immediately reach for their purse or their wallet or their pocket. Hare Krishna. Thank you. And they will give. Now, when they reach for their pocket, I ask them, how are you doing? Can you say that? How are you doing?
How are you doing?
And then they say, oh, there's a human, you know? There's not just a robot or, you know, like some vendor trying to hustle. This person actually human, you know? And they say, okay. Or I say, you know, life is good, isn't it? And, you know, there's some interaction. Then sometimes you see this person has bigger capacity. They're really nice. So I just ask them, just give 1,000. Or you give them a big book or a Bhagavad Gita, you say, give 2,000. And they give. They're very generous. Now some people will just give 100 or a couple of hundred or whatever. You give them a small book, you give them a medium book. But many have more capacity. So then you give them a bigger book. And you ask them for a certain amount. And some will give, many will give. Some will give less. Sometimes I give a bigger book for less. Some people give you more. Some people give you less. It don't matter. The mood is a mood of giving. Just give, 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 give. When Prabhupada came, I think I told you last time, he cooked, he served, he cleaned, he did everything himself. Till one person asked, Swamiji, can I help you? And he said, I thought nobody would ever ask. I thought maybe, you know, they're kids of rich kids, you know. They're kids of rich parents. Maybe they had maids who did everything for them. But Prabhupada was willing to do everything himself. So have a service attitude, and people can connect to that. Try to give something to everybody. Some people can only take a smile. They can't take more than that. Have you noticed? Some people, they can take a fudge. Some can take a small book or a flyer, a pamphlet. Some can take more. So be willing to give as much as the person can accept. And know that with time and more positive interactions, their capacity will increase. Just like our capacity has increased. Have you noticed? Initially chanting 1 round, wow, wow. It takes forever. Such an endeavor, right? Oh, I did 4 rounds, wow. And then you hear, oh, devotees who are initiated, they chant 16 rounds. Some chant more. And you go like, how is this possible? I started Krishna consciousness when I was 15 years old. And went out on the street and told people, I'm a monk. And people would look at me and go like, does your mom know you're here? Old ladies would go to the kitchen and they would get me chocolates. You know, this is Switzerland. They would get me Swiss chocolate. And I would say, I'm a monk. I don't eat chocolate. And they went, oh. It pained them. And I realized, don't be an idiot. If somebody wants to give you, accept it. Somebody will like give to someone else. Huh? How old are you? 14. Okay. Good. Starting early. That's nice. Huh? So, good organization, what does that mean? It means, like we spoke 2 days ago, that we have to understand that we're all part of the same team. Huh? Sometimes it's hard to imagine that we're all part of the same team because we're so different, we're so diverse. Huh? There's people from all backgrounds, from all cultures, from all parts of the world. Huh? But we're all on the same team. Radharani's team. There is only one team. I was in Bratislava, Slovakia. Have you heard of Slovakia? Skoda? Ice hockey? Huh? And I went to a supermarket. There was a security guard, all in black uniform. And he looked at me and he said, are you Hindu monk? And I said, yes. And he said, me too. I said, really? How come? He said, I bought 5 books. I asked him, what is the mantra? And he said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now he understood the concept of one team. But have we understood the concept of one team? I don't care to which church your mom went. I don't care how your dad made his money. I don't care who your guru is. Because these are personal details. Important, but personal details. What's important is we're on the same team. But we have to be team players. That means we have to be willing to pass the ball, to bring another person into play, to empower others, to rejoice in others' success because we're all on the same team. That means the team first. Okay? I know you got photographic memory, so you write down team first in your mind. Team first, okay? And then, okay, there will be different positions in the team. Some people are strategists, some people are administrators, managers, other people, they are cooks, they're drivers, they're good with music, they're good with preaching. We need everybody. Remember, we spoke a little bit about what you would do when you find gold or oil or some big resource on your land. You're not going to call the American or the Chinese or the Australian. You got to build your own team if you want to really make the best use of all that value. Huh? So, Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtan. We got the greatest gift. We got the most valuable thing coming directly from spiritual world. Even though we have the most precious message, the way how we present it right now is not the greatest. Have you noticed that we're practically invisible? People are like, Hari Bol, where have you been? I've been waiting here for many, many weeks and months. And you guys haven't showed up. I thought, what happened to the Hari Bols? Have you ever heard that? Huh? Formerly used to see you guys every week. Now, what happened? And we tell them, we got married, we got kids, we got jobs. Life got a little busy. Things got a little complicated. Huh? I was in Chosica, outside of Lima, Peru. And I gave a Sunday program. And after the program, I walked to the car and I saw the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, and the evangelicals in pairs going around the neighborhood, preaching, sharing the gospel, distributing literature. And where were the Hare Krishnas? They were sitting on the grass, chatting and having fun together. But nobody went out to share the message. So we need a plan. We need to make a game plan. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So what I'd like to do right now is brainstorm some ways on how we can communicate this greatest gift in a more visible, attractive, and impactful way to the people of Guyana. What do you think of this idea? It's a good idea? Okay, so I'm going to start. Do we have a second mic here? Is that a possibility? Best a wireless, otherwise just a mic we can hang around. So this is the Hare Krishna Study Center. What I would like to see here is a lot of courses, a lot of educational programs. We have experts in the fields of philosophy, of music, of cooking, of art, of dance, of so many sciences, so many disciplines. I would love to see workshops and later on real courses on all these topics right here. And I'd be happy to assist with whatever, in whichever small capacity I can do so. Because education is not just something that happens when you're forced to go to primary school, but this is an educational movement. So who are we supposed to educate? The world? What about ourselves? When is the last time you took a course? Message to self. When is the last time I took a course? Huh? Remember the last time you took a course? You took a seminar? You went through some systematic study? Now, I know many may think, but I'm an adult, I got a job, I got kids, I'm busy. Plus, I'm already initiated. There's a life after initiation. It's a good life. To initiate means to begin. So education is the tide that raises all the boats or all the canoes. Are you willing to participate in educational programs? Haribo. Thank you for a great audience participation. Huh? Now, if I'm asking people to read the books and to get educated and to study, but I'm not willing to do it myself, what does that make me? A hypocrite. And a hypocrite is not such a nice title. So let us take this seriously. I ask this question in most gatherings. How many of you have read all of Prabhupada's books? Show of hands. Who has read all of Prabhupada's books? I think we got some homework to do. What do you think? Otherwise, are you going to tell him that, hey, you got up at midnight for nothing? Because we're a little too busy here, For us, Bhagavad Gita and Ishopanishad would have done the job, You didn't have to do all that. No. Now, we can't blame it on, the climate, the culture, the ancestors, the government. It's a matter of taking personal responsibility. If you read one verse a day, the Gita takes you 2 years. The Bhagavatam takes you 46 years. Majority of you can still do it. Are you willing to read one verse a day? Yes. You got to start today. Huh? Just like Krishna says in the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Nachatasman manusyeshu kaschin me priyakritama. He says that if you give this message, this knowledge to others, you become dear to me. We would all like to become dear to Krishna, right? So an easy way how to do it is to share that knowledge with others. But first, I have to share it with myself. Because people will ask you, what is in your thing there that you're wearing? Why are you wearing this? What does it mean? And then if you tell them, well, grandma did it, so I'm doing it, and that's not going to cut it. People want to know. They're interested. They're curious. Have you noticed? Especially people of other faiths, right? Of other backgrounds. You want to hand them the fudge, they ask, what is it? Why are you giving this to me? What's in it? What's the reason why you're doing this? You better have some answers. We get all these answers from Prabhupada's books. Just now, a few minutes before coming down, I was reading Raghunath Das Goswami. Back then was Raghunath Das, and he was holding Panihati Chitadahi. He was holding a great festival for Lord Nityananda and his associates by feeding them chipped rice soaked in yogurt and in condensed milk with bananas. And there's a big party, a big festival. And it was so attractive that Lord Chaitanya just appeared there. Some people could see him. He just manifested. And he was pushing food into the mouth of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda was pushing food into the mouth of Lord Chaitanya. And a few devotees could see that miracle, that Lord Chaitanya just appeared. And Lord Nityananda gave his unconditional mercy to Raghunath Das and put his lotus feet on his head and said, I bless you, that you will overcome all the obstacles, that nothing can get between you and Lord Chaitanya. So, sounds pretty exciting, right? Sounds pretty ecstatic. It's there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila. It's there for us to read. It's there for us to experience. It's there for us to implement in our own communities. But we're a little too busy, right? We're a little too busy doing whatever it is that we're doing. So I humbly like to ask you, please read Prabhupada's books every day. A day without reading is a day wasted. So please, take time out, read Prabhupada's books. Do you have a plan for reading? Or you say, oh, whenever, whenever I have time. You know that whenever never happens? Have you noticed? Oh yeah, I'll clean my room whenever I have time. Whenever never comes. So, you gotta have a plan. He who fails to plan, plans to fail. What is your plan, sadhus? So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna write these down in brackets in different categories. And everybody can voice something that they would like to see here implemented in Hare Krishna Study Center or in Guyana. And then also, later on, you can choose a couple of categories or topics that you would like to get involved with. Okay? And we'll build groups, we'll build teams. How does that sound? Thank you for your great audience participation. I knew it was worth it coming all the way here. Huh? Now I know it's hot and, it was a working week. It's Friday evening. Tomorrow is Rath Yatra. But this is the stuff that should get us excited. This is the stuff that kept Prabhupada awake in the night. Because he was a visionary. He saw that there will be people who will be tremendously confused and tremendously suffering in the material world. And for our sake, because he felt our pain, he was willing to sacrifice his time and his energy. If we could have a scribe, somebody with a legible handwriting. Any volunteers? Whoever volunteers for others. Okay, so please put down in category, broad category, on the top, you put education. Okay. Now we got a mic, we got 2 mics. Wow. We're going high tech here. We're getting fancy. All right, you got 1. You can start. What would you like to see that's not yet happening, or that's happening very minimally? What would you like to see?
I like to see every day a few of us, at least, if not all of us, reading at least 2 pages of Srila Prabhupada's books every day.
Okay, you can put that as under education, yes? Reading programs. So that can be individual, that can be also as study groups or as reading groups or as online groups, different formats. Okay. What other ideas do we have under education? I said courses. Seminars and courses. And workshops. Workshop. We have people who are taking vegetarian cooking class. They're willing to pay $100 for a 4-hour cooking class. They come and get a snack, then they get some theory, then they discuss the menu, then they go and cook lunch together. They offer it, they eat prasad, people go home. They're willing to pay $100 for that. Now, I have heard from one of our leaders or managers here, when I asked, how many lunches are you selling? He said 25. I said, that sounds a little small for this kind of operation. He said, well, there's very few vegetarians here in Guyana. Have you heard that excuse before? There was a salesman of shoes, and he went to Africa. And after a few weeks, he came back, and his friends asked him, why did you come back? He said, no one's wearing shoes in Africa. And the other shoe salesman said, I'm going there tomorrow. Now, if there's very few vegetarians, is this a tragedy or an opportunity? Opportunity. But are we seeing it as an opportunity? No, not really. More and more people are becoming aware that maybe eating doubles and fries and whatever else they're eating and getting obese and getting diabetes and having limbs amputated is not the best way how to live life. Have you noticed that that trend is slowly starting? Slowly, right? You see many stores with more healthy items and people talk about it, and it's in the zeitgeist, it's in the mindset. So why not offer courses on that? So many courses. Okay, what else? You got the mic. Right there. What would you like to see? No, in general, you can come up with a new category or with something that you would love to see and participate in.
Prabhuji, for me personally, reading about it every day would be one. That's
already there, yes. What about Harinam Sankirtan? Did you like the Harinam today?
Yes, I did enjoy it.
Was fun, right?
After a long time.
After a long time. It's been too long. So how often would you like to do that? Every day or thrice a week? Or once a year?
For me,
yeah.
Prabhuji, once a week.
Once a week. Okay. Outreach. Harinam. Krishna has given you one of the most favorable places on the planet. People just waiting. They're there, smiling. Oh, the Hari Bols. They're ready for the devotees. The question is, are we ready for them? Harinam. Yes. What else? What would you like to see here?
I like to more customer to come to Govindas.
Huh?
More customer.
Well? More customers
Come to Govindas.
for Govindas.
Yes.
How are we going to do that? Let's brainstorm. Let's get some ideas here. Okay, next. Govinda.
And I will like the Harinam Kirtan.
Yeah. Good. Was good having you today. So, Govinda's restaurant. Promotion. How do we do that? Is there a scarcity of hungry people in Guyana who like to eat good food? Is there a scarcity? No. You see people eating all times of the day and night, non-stop. Okay, so what's not happening?
Proper advertisement.
Yeah, advertisement. No S. I think we have to bring the prasad to them. You know, Uber Eats, delivery, just more, looking more into, very few people will actually come here to eat here, but a lot of people will order and you can deliver to them. So one has to reach out to companies, to corporates, to schools, to government institutions and promote it, have WhatsApp groups, send the menu out every day. So who is good in advertisement? Who is good in marketing? Please sign up for that, okay? We got the best prasad, we got the best food, no doubt about it. But every vendor on a street corner sells 10 times more than we do. So something is missing. Maybe we should join up with those street vendors and just supply some people who are selling like that. Just looking into different ideas, okay? Doesn't have to be in these categories. Anything that you would like to see happening here in this community.
For us to attend Bhagavatam class at least once a week.
Okay? Weekly attendance of Bhagavatam class. You can use black pen, otherwise it becomes confusing if you start. So, what's your day? When are you free?
Any day, Monday to Friday.
Any day, Monday to Friday. It's doable, right? Yeah, 45 minutes, no big deal, right? Yeah. You just gotta have a plan. You just gotta put it on the... Do you go to gym? No? You sports guy?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you work out or you just eat a lot? Or you just drink a lot of water?
No, it's all
You're a natural. You work hard. Yeah, so Anything that you do at least once a week, it will actually gain momentum. You will actually gain something out of it. But if you only do it once a quarter or once a year, it's not enough. It has to be regular. You have to have a practice. Thank you. What would you like to see?
I think Harinam Sankirtan, but it's already there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if,
So which day are you free for Harinam Sankirtan?
I think Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah,
What time?
in the afternoon. Yeah.
What about tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock? No? Too early?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, tomorrow afternoon, you coming for Rath Yatra?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. That counts also. All right, so we'll write down people who like Harinam. You please come up and tell which time of the week you're available. And then somebody can coordinate, and we can have different groups in different parts of Guyana who go out. Because they should be different groups going out. Okay? And it can be 3 or 5 people, it can be 10 or 15 people, but just, we need to spread out. Yes, sir.
So for education category, probably a catalog of all Prabhupada's book can be created and advertised more so people can know actually how many books are there. Generally we know about the Bhagavad Gita as but then there are so many other books, and some of us, personally me, I can't even remember some of them because I haven't seen them in a long time.
Thank you. Have a display, put display of Prabhupada's books in the temple room. I would like to see a display in a prominent location, which means temple room, with a full set of all of Prabhupada's books. And you can also have a book table right next to it, so people can actually see what's there. And whoever comes in here, we can show them this is the full set. And people, believe it or not, many of them will want to have the full set.
Also to add to that, you can probably set them in an order where you can start reading from.
Yeah.
So you just don't go randomly and pick a book that you're not.
So you have a build-up, you have a sequence. Yes, thank you. How many of you have a full set of Prabhupada's books at home? That's one person. Well, I think there's some room here. Okay, Sachi, sign them up, all right? Everybody, full set. Now, how are we trying to distribute this message if we don't even have the books ourselves? Yeah, I can say I got everything on my phone, but it's a different thing. Are you scrollers or are you readers? Have you noticed how the vibration changes when you have a book in your hand instead of a phone? Have you noticed how it changes? It's just a different vibration, right? All of a sudden, it's like sometimes you drive around in the car and then you walk the same distance. Have you noticed how it's like a totally different world when you walk around the block instead of always driving around? You just see things differently. Okay. Each and every member of our society should have a full set of Prabhupada's books. Why don't we have the books? Are they too expensive? Are they not available? Are we not interested? We don't find the time? Or we need a little bit of help and encouragement to read them? Charity starts at home. If we're not capable of doing it, what are we trying to achieve out there? I'm asking you, this is not rhetorical. This is actually happening. I'm asking you, what are we trying to achieve? If our own devotees don't have the books, don't have sometimes the interest, then what can we do to stimulate that, to encourage that? Now I know everybody would love to have a set of books at home. Some may not have the funds, so you could have sponsored books. You can put that under outreach. Sponsored books, or people can do like installment system. You know, like every month they pay a little something, but they get all the books right in the beginning. I have two friends in the Bay Area. One has a small motel and one is in tech. And they have placed more than 1 million Bhagavad Gitas in hotels and motels and prisons and schools. Just two simple grihastas have done that. Pretty cool, huh? 1 million Gitas. It's doable. It just takes a little bit of planning. Sponsor books, yes. Also sets, put sets. All right. What would you like to see, young man? What's your name?
Krishna, Shivesh.
Shivesh.
I would like to see more often Harinam
Okay.
and devotees reading the Bhagavad Gita like once a day, like more often.
Nice. How about youth programs? How about something for the youth? Where are all your friends? You know, sometimes it's tough. I remember I joined when I was 15. All my godbrothers were 8 or 10 years older than me. I was just a kid. And it was fun, I tell you. I had so many older brothers and sisters. I didn't have to worry about a thing. The first 3-4 years, I didn't know in which town I was, you know? They just dropped me out of the van and said, okay, we'll pick you up at 6:30 at this corner. I didn't know the name of the town I was in. It didn't matter. All I knew was all the books need to go and they'll pick me up at 6:30. It was a good life. And all of a sudden you grow up and everybody's like, hey, what about this? What about that? Hey, you gotta take responsibility and problems. And no, I was just happy-go-lucky kid, you know? But where is the youth? I see 1 or 2 babies, I see 1 or 2 youngsters, and the rest of us, we're already kind of in the second half, or maybe in the third quarter. Huh? So, under education or outreach, wherever you want to put it, youth activities. How about youth retreats? As far as education goes, Paramatma Prabhu, do you find many people interested in organic farming and learning how to live off the land? Is that still a topic? Because in the West, that's huge. In the university, ecology, sustainability, and growing your own food is huge. I don't know about Guyana. Can you pass the mic? I know you're an expert in this. You have done many workshops on this.
Yeah, I did quite a few workshops. And
What's the response? What's the interest at the moment?
Well, when I said that the response outside of Guyana is much more than here.
Is much more?
It's much more outside of Guyana than inside of Guyana.
Because there's been so much farming, people take it for granted, and they think, let me get an office job, clean hands, you know, bigger money, less hard work.
Yeah, I find that the youths, they're into career, big money, fast money, fast life, you know, like that.
Partying.
I am very, very comfortable with the way I live on the bare necessities. I like to have a sadhana every morning. I have a reading program every day. And in terms of that education, I find that these courses that we're talking about, they go very, very deep into people, or devotees. When they systematically study, things will, sink more. I've been doing, let's say, 1 chapter every day. That's on a Saturday night. And every devotee in the class, I had more than 50 devotees, and every one of them said that that they have going through the courts, picking up the main teams, picking up they said that they never.
So there's a market. There's an interest. It's real. It's substantial.
I would say that.
Good.
Right. And I would say, I'd like to see more devotees, get into, organic farming and like that, because, you think about it, food is very, very expensive. The cost of living, or one Maharaj said, the cost of existing. Right? Because if you don't have a strong Krishna conscious life, it's, you're existing. So, I'd like to say that more devotees, because land is very, very cheap, as long as you, not cheap, but I would say available. You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, like that, and your life is not programmed. That's one of the most important things. My life is not programmed. It means that I could give so much time, to study, to run, these courses for young devotees, and like that. And, at the end of the day, you get everything to eat. So, it's an adventure. I thought it's really wonderful. I can't think about.
Well, thank you for being a role model and for sticking it out. I feel honored to have a few friends who are actually doing it, because a lot of people are talking about stuff, and there's a few people actually doing the stuff. So I know it's a big, big, big project to have like a farm project and a big community and a school and all that, but it would be nice. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. First, we need to gather some like-minded individuals who share the vision and who want to see it happen and who are willing to be part of it. But it can happen. It can happen.
I fully agree with you. One time they invited me to Ecuador. The minister, the devotee from Brazil,
Calacanta.
And I did a presentation to the devotees in Brazil. There's a farm called Navina Farm. You probably went there in Ecuador.
Yeah.
In Ecuador, and devotees were so fascinated. They were so fascinated, including the minister. So there is, a lot of scope for this, but importantly, that a farm you have to know how to manage a farm.
Yeah.
Unless you know how to manage a farm,
it's not going to work.
It could be a disaster.
Yeah, that's why usually, this idea of let's just buy somewhere as much land for as cheap as we possibly can, and then we take a few city boys and a few city girls and we drop them there, has been a formula for disaster.
Yeah.
It just hasn't worked.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I stayed in New Vrindavan, I stayed in New Palawan, Prabhupada's model farm, and I see the devotees live on the farm, but they have jobs in the city, right? And they work in the city. So,
that's a big topic.
Yeah.
But you can put it down in a category like sustainability, farm.
There's one last point while we're doing that, and that is that when we started out as devotees, we didn't know anything else than book distribution.
Yeah.
That was our source of income, and everyone will hit the road after the morning program like that.
Everyone was a Sankirtan devotee. There was no other option.
Everyone was Sankirtan devotee.
Yeah. Missionary spirit, missionary drive.
Spirit.
Yeah.
And the books go out, and there's nothing that gives us realization, than when you
book distribution.
Distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, so much realization.
Yeah, I fully agree.
So,
thank you. Thank you. Today thank you, Paramatma Prabhu. We were driving back and we went to see that first temple here in Guyana. It's still there. The part of the structure is still there. Some of you live there, some of you remember, some of you have seen it. It's good to sometimes see how things started and how things expanded. Okay,
Arul?
It's, yes, you're next. I'm just saying, I intend to go for another half hour or so. Not everybody is forced to say something. Whoever feels inspired, please pick up the mic. Whatever has already been put on the board and said, you don't have to mention it again. If you have something new to add, please, go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhu. I would like to see some more organized dancing and kirtan.
Ah, okay. Dancing in kirtan,
Yeah, Prabhu.
here in the temple.
Yeah.
On Harinam also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy the kirtan.
More enthusiastic dancing.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah, otherwise people will ask, who died, you know? Like, is this a funeral? Like, what happened? You people look pretty sad, you know? What's going on? Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna. For me, I would like to see some counseling.
Counseling?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Outreach, you gotta put dancing, and then under education or devotee care, counseling, mentoring. Do you all have some mentor, some guide, some person who you can consult in spiritual matters? Do you have somebody? Or you're just flying autopilot? Huh? Just flying somewhere till I crash? Huh? We were telling this story last night how at the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, one Bengali Vaishnav was pouring water on the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And he drank it, and he shared it with others. And Lord Chaitanya told Swarup Damodar, get your Bengali Vaishnav out of here. This is not proper. So Swarup Damodar grabbed him by the neck and pushed him outside of the door in a loving way. Huh? And in the purport, Prabhupada says that this is very nice because Mahaprabhu has declared that all Gaudiya Vaishnavas, which means all of us, are under the care and guidance of Swarup Damodar. In His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj's last will and testament, he said, each and every one of my disciples has to have a Shiksha Guru. You have to have a guide, a mentor. Do you have guides, mentors? Do you have people who you can consult? Or you say, oh, I was initiated. That's it. Now I'm going direct, you know? It's me and God. Huh? Have you heard people who talk like that? It's me and God? It's a very dangerous type of strategy. Huh? So, there are so many mature devotees, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and I humbly request all of you, each one teach one, everybody, take time to establish relationships which are based on dadati pratigrinati guyamakyati prichati bhumte pochayate chaiva sadvidim pratilakshana, loving exchanges. And that's also part of, revealing our mind and getting counsel, getting good advice. Everyone needs that. Everyone. No one is exempt. What do you think? The gurus, sannyasis, and GBCs, they're not doing that? Yes, they're doing that. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to go very far. You're not going to last. Kali Yuga is too heavy. So, just food for thought, okay? You can call it counselor system, you can call it mentor system, you can call it Vaishnava Sadhu Sangha, whatever you want to call it. You get the idea. Okay, thank you. Valuable points. Who else would like to contribute? Please raise your hand, you'll get the mic. Any other points that you would like to see implemented here? Yes, in the back. We got 2 mics. They should be moving. One is here. You can hand it back to the ladies.
Hare Krishna.
Because we haven't heard anything from the other half of the planet. Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu too.
We need to add in education, meditation and yoga.
Okay.
Educations
Okay.
in-
Courses on meditation, yoga, yes. People very much interested in that.
and about health related
Yeah.
consultations.
Yeah, meditation, yoga, health. Are they related to Krishna consciousness? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Very current topics. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, this maybe could come under education also. I would like to see like more teachings of learning to chant, more bhajans, and also learning to play instruments.
Okay, music, Vaishnava songs, playing instruments.
Also, more loving cooperation also among the Vaishnavas here also, you know.
Loving cooperation. In which sense?
In all the sense.
You don't feel the love?
No, it's there, but you know, it is more cooperation needed to get this, to get all these things done actually.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to get people to come out and participate. Yes. You got the mic. You might as well use it.
I just probably some cooking classes. Cooking classes.
Cooking classes, okay? Yeah. You'd like to teach?
I like to attend.
You like to attend? Good. What, Chinese, Italian? Others? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'd like for there to be monthly book marathons to encourage devotee for book distribution.
Thank you. We call it monthly Sankirtan Festival under outreach. It's an event where once a month on a weekend there's a little workshop and then the whole community goes out together. Do you like that? That's like the whole fun, like in Rath Yatra. Everybody goes out together, right? It's a big party. Do you like parties? No, people don't party in Guyana, right? So, then you go out, you do Harinam, you do book distribution. You can do book table, you can stand, you can walk around, you can go door to door, different events. There's so many opportunities. Thank you. What else would you like to see? I would like to see more activities for children and youth. Like we need, because you know that when you get the kids, you also get the parents. Because the parents are only driving the kids around. They're just the drivers for the kids. So if you have something for kids, the parents will also come. You get 2 for 1. So what are we going to do about that? Okay, there ain't much space for a big playground, as we have noticed. But we could have, yes.
So I think in that sense we are trying a little bit, and I think we're having a summer class.
You have a plan. You want to reveal it, or you want to reveal the plan?
A summer class next month.
Children.
Children summer class.
Summer camp. Yes. I would like to see Sunday school. I would like to see summer camp, shlokas, Bhagavad Gita contests, dramas, the whole shabam, the whole thing. We got to have it. A friend runs a place in Rishikesh. He just had for Ram Navami or Jamastami. They make a contest where kids dress up as Krishna or as Ram, and then it's a contest, you know. So they all dress up, and sounds like fun. The guys are not excited, but the kids will be excited, okay? All right. We also need something for seniors, senior citizens, Varishta Vaishnavas. You know, people are getting old, have you noticed? It does happen occasionally. And there should be a committee who is actually looking after the older Vaishnavas, because sometimes they need help, they need assistance, they need counseling, they need help with shopping, with cooking, with cleaning. They need some assistance. So we could have a group for senior care, and devotees can volunteer to serve. My older brother, Michael, he is a Swiss banker, and he retired 2 years ago from Swiss banking, and he went into elderly care because he decided that he made enough money and it's time to do something useful, to give something back to the community. I mean, he was a banker mostly working with home credits, helping people buy and build homes. So, not so bad. But still, it was too surreal. And he wanted to have more human interaction and contact. So he went into going to old age homes and just spending time with the elderly, taking them on walks, talking with them, helping them do their taxes and whatever else, answer their mail, pay their bills. And he found it very, very, very meaningful. What else? What would you like to see that's not here yet? If you'd had the magic wand, what would you like? What I'd like to see is a national strategy for Guyana. This is one of the best countries, and right now we're barely scratching the surface of it. It's vast. It's geographically quite diverse. We have to work strategically. Right now we got 3-4 centers, and there's not that much going on. We could improve in all our different areas. I feel we haven't really cracked how to deal with villages, village outreach. That we actually go into a village and we make connection with the elders, we give them a set, and we offer them to do kirtan there, to give Bhagavad Gita class there. And I guarantee you, a lot of the villages will be very happy and very open to have this offering as a service from ISKCON. They already have the facility. You don't have to build a new temple. How many Hindu temples are there in Guyana? How many, approximately? Many, right? Many. So many. And mostly empty, unused. So, why not reach out and have a strategy? And then, with the elders and some of the younger people who get inspired by these few kirtan programs and Bhagavad Gita and Ram Kathas that the devotees are holding in these villages, all of a sudden you'll have satellite centers all over the country. What do you think of that? I think that makes more sense than just building our own temples all over the country. So, and it's cheaper because the buildings are already there. You just have to go there and make friends. People are happy to collaborate. Any other points? Yes, sir. We need a microphone. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I think for a very long time we have been coming up with some of these brainstorming, trying to figure out what are the things needs to be done in the Guyana Yatra. And what I could say is that we have failed so often to try to get them to manifest despite many of the ideas that are there recorded on the board. I think we really need a structure in place where there can be sustainability for whatever we want to accomplish. And I think that requires some degree of purity, someone behind it.
Who follows up.
That can really ensure it's executed. Otherwise, it's all just going to be talks and can be faded away in another couple of days or weeks or month. Oftentimes this happens, let's see, we have many seminars, workshops, different courses, devotees attend. But some of the other the enthusiasm, the perseverance, the determination is not there to really
Thank
make
you.
things work in devotees'
Very
life.
important points. Thank you.
So I think you
Implementation.
really need to have a structure in place where these things can really be sustained.
Yes, I fully agree. So what we're going to do right now is, I'd like you, who would like to, I mean, this all came out of you, so everybody wants this to happen. The question is, how are we going to make it happen? We have to agree that we need leaders.
Certainly.
Because structure means leaders. Followers, yeah, they
Leaders
exist.
with commitment,
Yes.
dedication,
Yeah.
long term, not just short
Yeah.
term.
Yeah.
I think you have a very important part to play.
So,
Someone that can really inspire,
yeah.
sustain that inspiration.
You see, before handing out big titles, I would like to see, there's organic growth, how servant leaders just manifest by doing, rather than just giving people a badge or a hat. That doesn't really make them leaders. So how things usually evolve is, people sign up for different programs, and you have a person who organizes, who is like an organizer for Harinam, an organizer for festivals, an organizer for hospitality, and they take responsibility for that. But there has to be a point of contact where they report, somebody who follows up on that.
That's, I think, on the higher rank, but I think to begin with, we have to have a structure in place where devotees can be properly cultivated in the Krishna consciousness. I think that's pretty much
starting right from the beginning, from the first day they walk in the door. Because a lot of people still think that they're spectators. They came here to watch the Hare Krishna show, and then, they eat and go home. They don't realize that we don't look for spectators or for likes. We're looking for participation. But that means we have to change the approach. We have to do it differently right from the get-go. Just like you can't be a Jehovah's Witness unless you go out and you preach. You can't. If you don't go out and you witness and you distribute, you're not a Jehovah's Witness. You can't be a Mormon unless you go on a mission for 2 years. It doesn't work. You can't be. So, well, what does it mean to be a member of ISKCON? What does it mean to be a Hare Krishna? So, now of course we're not gonna, reinvent the wheel and try to rewrite the Constitution. We have to see what can we do here to make it happen. And I feel that there's some very intelligent and quite thoughtful people here in this country and in this yatra. I see a lot of exceptional talent. I see not so much appreciation and teamwork. A lot of distrust, a lot of backbiting, a lot of criticism.
I think there's not much trust amongst devotees. And when it comes to mentorship and counseling, I don't think there's that kind of respect and communication, reciprocation.
But that's something that we have to personally look out for. Nobody can legislate, oh, you got to trust him, oh, you have to tell him your life story. That's not something we can legislate. It's something that has to be earned. These relationships are built on love and trust, and that takes time to develop.
So that is why I'm saying that, whatever is presented there seems to be in the higher rank. The immediate thing is the proper cultivation of the devotee.
Yeah, fully
If
agree.
that is not there, these things will not be able to be done, executed.
Or just in a very minimal way, in a very, pro forma way. Like we can say, yeah, we got Harinam. Like we had a little RGB chat, Paramatma Prabhu and some of the Latin RGBs a few days ago, right? And I was bringing up a few of those points, you remember, about education? And one person said, but we're having the disciple course. And I was always tempted to say, well, just passing people through the 2-day course so they can get initiation is not what I call systematic education. It takes a little more than that. It's something, but it's not sufficient. I fully agree. But then again, we got to start somewhere. And Why say we have to start fresh if we already have 200 or 300 devotees? Right now, there's a lot of devotees. Of course, it's sometimes easier to start with the new ones than to try to teach an old DOS new tricks, right? Because they're like, hey, that's new music for me, that's news. So how would you go about? How would you go about in implementing this right now, 2024?
It's a bigger challenge when we think about the many devotees we have in our yatra. And of course, Paramatma Prabhu has been engaged in quite some programs of outreach and training. But always thinking whether how much that will be sustainable. And I think the many devotees we have in the yatra at the moment, I don't know how much we can think of them really stepping up to what is expected of them or what we're now trying to present them to be involved with.
Well, I think they don't have any other choice because tomorrow we're all dead and it's their game. So the kids will have to run the show, like it or not. It's just the way of the world.
We certainly need to put a system, a structure in place for the proper spiritual upbringing of devotees. That's very important.
Thank you. Yeah. And how would such a system look like in your estimation?
Well, I think it begins with proper leadership. If there's proper leadership, then that inspiration will certainly become big.
Yeah, you have to have visible leadership. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No way around it. Fully agree.
I think some should be discussed, but I don't think we can do this one for us.
Sure. Okay. So, somebody can type this out electronically and communicate it to the groups. Who is your secretary here or the person who does such things normally? Sachi Sutta? So, if you can please get this in an electronic format. Now you take a picture, then you type it up, then you circulate it, and then people volunteer for different activities. And also those who would like to take a leading role, who have some experience in organizing. And then somebody overall should meet with those leaders and get reports and see, are you actually doing it? Like I was in Mayapur and when I lived there with my family, I was in the board of directors of the international school. I also became community chairman, which is something like mayor of town for the foreigners. And what I did was just trying to build on a team dynamics. And I got a lot of good people involved. And we started creating committees and delegating them to individuals who then had to get something done and report back to the group once a week in our meeting. And then a lot of the members decided that there was too much work for them. They'd rather got together once a week and just talk. And they decided they wanted to have a new chairman. And after 2 years, I was out. And I was happy because I did my part in trying to restructure. We started out with a monthly budget of 500 rupees, which was for the phone bill of the secretary. There was no infrastructure. So things take time, but we have to do our part. We have to do our part. I see a lot of potential here. Of course, there's always some setbacks and some obstacles, but that is to be expected. Imagine Prabhupada did all that by himself. And he had full faith in the instruction of his spiritual master. He said, I had no idea how it will manifest, but I had full faith. Krishna will do the magic. So, I'm very grateful for all of your participation and hard work and dedication. And I know Krishna Shakti Vinanahetara Pravartana. Krishna can empower anybody. It's not about externals. It's about sincerity and dedication. And I like this mentorship, or you can call it whatever you want to call it, each one teach one. Just have somebody and just share your experience with them. You will find it rewarding and they will get something out of it. I think that's Guru Parampara. That's our way of communicating the message. So, tomorrow is Rath Yatra. It's a big day. We're going to start out with Harinam at 7 a.m., I've been told. And then it's dancing and chanting all day. So, Srila Prabhupada was happy to start small. He was not in anxiety. He had a great sense of urgency, but he was not in anxiety. So in a similar way, we should be happy to do our bit, to do our part. Prabhupada went to Butler, Pennsylvania, and he stayed in the YMCA. You know what a YMCA is? It's a youth hostel. There was no showers. He had to walk 7 blocks to the home of Gopal and Sally to take a shower and to cook. They were not vegetarians. Gopal was an Indian. He had married a white girl, and they had 2 boys. And so Prabhupada, he would use their kitchen. There was meat in the fridge. He had to keep his vegetables there. He cooked for the family. Everybody loved it. He took bath there. And then Sally organized programs for Prabhupada all over town. She was very much socially connected. And Prabhupada was happy to go to each and every function. He wrote back to India to a godbrother, "Tonight, I'm going to see Indian dance here in Butler, Pennsylvania." He said, "I have no interest in seeing Indian dance. I'm a sannyasi. But I'm going there for 2 reasons. Number 1, I would like to see what is the hospitality. How do they meet and greet? How do they receive guests? How do they interact socially here in this country? Because imagine you come from Vrindavan and you go to US, it's a totally different ballgame. And number 2, I would like to see how do they respond to our Indian culture? How do people react when they see Indian dance?" So Prabhupada was riding the bus and the subways in New York, just observing people. He was just studying people to see how can I communicate this message to these people who were so different from whatever he was experiencing. I'll leave you 1 or 2 short stories because we should leave on a sweet note. When Prabhupada was in Gopal and Sally's apartment, he was in the bathroom using the shower. So, you know, American apartments, usually there's carpet in every room, except in the kitchen and in the bathroom. So when he was in the bathroom, Sally, she heard this sound of water splashing, and then she saw water flowing out of the bathroom into the living room on the carpet. Now she was embarrassed. She's 25-year-old young white American girl. There's this 70-year-old grandfather, you know, friend of her father-in-law. So, but at one point she asked, "Swamiji, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm taking bath." She said, "Can you show me?" He said, "Yes." So there was a bathtub, because in American homes there's bathtubs. So Prabhupada filled up the bathtub with water, and he stood outside, and he took the lota, and he was splashing water over himself, and it was flowing out into the living room. And Sally said, "Swamiji, no. This is not how we take bath here in America." Prabhupada said, "No, this is how everybody takes bath in India. You fill the bucket, and then you throw water over yourself." She said, "No." Prabhupada said, "How no? How do you take bath?" She said, "In America, we stand inside the bathtub." Prabhupada said, "Yes, I can do that." So a few days later, again, water flowing into the carpet, into the living room. And she heard this sound. And she was really worried. So this time she just asked straight out, "Swamiji, what are you doing in the bathroom?" Prabhupada said, "I'm doing laundry." She said, "Can you show me?" He said, "Yes." So again, he filled up the bathtub. He soaked his clothes. Then he put soap in it, and then he was beating it on the floor. and the water was flowing out into the living room. Sally said, Swamiji, this is not how we do laundry. He said, no. In India, everybody is doing laundry like this. She said, no, I will show you. She took him to the laundromat. And Prabhupada, for the first time in his life, he saw washing machine. He had big eyes. She gave him a little plastic bag with coins and some washing powder, and she said, this is how you do laundry. Prabhupada said, okay, I can learn this. Huh? Then, one time Prabhupada was in the bathroom and he heard this sound from the living room. And he was really frightened. He didn't know what was going on. So he opened the door and he saw Sally holding this stick which was making so much noise. And he asked, what is that? What is that? And she said, what is what? He said, that thing. She said, that's a vacuum cleaner. Prabhupada said, what does it do? She says, taking the dirt out of the carpet. He had never seen a vacuum cleaner in his life. So Prabhupada was willing to learn a few new things. He was willing to adjust the details. And in fact, he said, I have taught you the principles. You adjust the details. And that's why Krishna consciousness spread around the world in less than 10 years. Because Prabhupada taught us principles. And he expected us to figure out the details. Now, whether your operating system here is democracy, or oligarchy, or dictatorship, or Varnashram Dharma, honestly speaking, it's a detail. But the principles of Sanatana Dharma, which is Harikatha, Krishna Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, these are principles. But the way how we communicate them, that slightly varies according to time, place, and circumstance. Guyana is still a democracy? Kinda? What's the current? Democracy? People go voting? People have faith in the voting, or not so much? Huh? So, whichever organizational structure works for you. Different cultures, different approaches. But I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for showing up and for participating. Yet, talk is cheap. Now it's time to implement. Now it's time to go into action mode. I believe we have a lot of homework. But what I really love to see is the love and trust, the Vaishnava relationships strengthen and deepen in this yatra. Because unless we have a team, it's not going to sustain. It's not going to stick. You can make a few splashes. You can distribute a few books. You can have a few festivals. But unless we learn how to appreciate, how to trust, and how to collaborate together, it's going to be very hard to make advancement. Because at the end of the day, the devotees is all we have. And if we don't appreciate the devotees, we don't have much. Thank you very much. All glories to Prabhupada. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So Sachisuta Prabhu will communicate with you. And this is a work in progress. This is not an extensive list. There's much more different areas that can be looked at. Like for instance, economic development, economic opportunities for youngsters who want to get into jobs or want to get into family life. Talking of family life, training for people who are wanting to get married. All these different types of factors require training and assistance. So, to be continued. To be continued. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.